Hey there, guys. So I want to thank you for joining today's live stream. I did want to share a few things before I get started on talking about the digestive system. And one of those things is that I want to discuss, well, not really discuss, but I want to mention that I will be doing live streams on Instagram now. I'm trying to find as many ways possible that I can sort of get more engagement on my content and sort of spread the word with my content. It's been a little bit of a struggle, especially trying to build my Instagram, um, as well as trying to create a new Twitter so that I can focus more on putting fitness content on it. But the engagement has been difficult. I've been trying to spread the word and trying to start conversations with people, but it's just for me. It's been a very difficult situation to try to get engagement with people outside of just Facebook, but on Instagram and Twitter. So that's sort of been frustrating. I didn't want to, didn't want to mention that, but I'm doing everything that I can to give you guys value in every way, shape, and form. And with my Instagram live streams, I'm doing the same thing. The only thing is that it won't be a presentation, but I'll be discussing a lot of different topics. It'll be structured somewhat like the Facebook live streams I've been doing, but I do want it to be structured in a way to where I can discuss a specific topic and sort of create more engagement about some of the things that I'm sharing. So, again, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch these streams. I'm trying to make them as informative and as valuable as possible. And I want you to take something from these. I'm not just creating these just cuz. I just want them to be something that you can take with you. That's my goal. That's who I want to be as a coach, is somebody who is, going to give you value and who's going to, sort of get you to sort of understand your health a little bit better. And I don't want to go off too much on a tangent on anything, but that is my goal. For me, personal training and coaching is not about the hype. It's not about the looks. It's about helping people. And I feel like a lot of times that is the focus with a lot of people. And I'm not trying to judge anybody, but that's not my approach when it comes to coaching and personal training. My approach is that I want to help people and I want to give people value. And that is the way that I focus on things. So, with that being said, I know I sort of gone off on a tangent there with that, but I really want to mention that because I feel like too many times that a lot of it is about looks, and it's not because it's about helping people. So I did want to mention that I will be doing those live streams on Instagram. They're going to be very valuable topics, like I do here on Facebook. Last thing I want to mention, and then I'll get into the stream and talking about today's topic. The 14-day trial is about to end very soon. I do have a couple people that have been in the trial and have been engaging with me throughout the trial, which is great. I will be, if you are watching the stream and you are in the trial, I will be talking to you soon and sort of discussing what your steps are forward. If you enjoyed the experience with Trainer Oz, with Evolution Nutrition, and things of that nature. So I will be discussing that with you guys in the next few days because the trial will end on this weekend. So I'll definitely get in touch with you guys and sort of discuss the next steps. And then another promotion will likely be coming up soon, and I'll share that with you guys. But with that being said, let's go ahead and discuss sort of what I'm wanting to talk about today, and that's about the digestive system. So with this, I am going to be talking about the system itself, but I'm going to be talking about a little bit about some of the benefits um, as far as, exercise as it relates to, the digestive system. So let's go ahead and get started, and let's, do an overview on exactly what the digestive system is before I go into a little bit more detail with certain things. So the digestive system itself plays a huge role in the body. It is a complex group of structures in the body that function to allow any of the foods and liquids we consume to be able to be digested, processed, and absorbed into the body. So that is pretty much, in a nutshell, what the digestive system is. The digestive system itself is comprised of three different components, and that is the head and neck area, which includes the mouth and the esophagus. The head and neck area is composed of the main two areas of the digestive system, known as the mouth and esophagus. You have the upper GI tract, which includes mostly the small intestine, and then you have other um, parts of the small intestine known as the duodenum, jejunum, and the ileum. That's all that is the three primary sections of the small intestine. And then you got the lower GI tract, which includes mostly the large intestine, and it includes parts of the colon. So there's various parts of the colon. I don't kind of have it cut off here, but I want to list sort of what's all in the lower GI tract. Um, so here in the yellow, you have the ascending colon. The blue, you got the transverse colon, and then the green, you got the descending colon, and then in the purple, you have the sigmoid colon. So that's all in the lower GI tract. That also includes, the rectum and the anus. So the parts where all of that waste gets left out of the body. So that's pretty much, the three main parts of the digestive system. And just to sort of give you an overview of, what it's all composed of. I will sort of go into detail about certain parts of it today. So I do want to make this simplified in a way where you understand this. But this is important stuff to sort of know and to be aware of. And the digestive system does play a huge role as far as, its connection with fitness, because fitness itself can help, regulate the digestive system. Okay, so I sort of mentioned a little bit about the head and neck. So the head and neck is when food is taken in through the mouth, it is processed, and this is called ingestion. So when you're taking food in the mouth, that is ingestion into the body. So teeth, saliva, as well as the tongue help aid in that ingestion process and help break down the food. So all of the stuff you have in your mouth is sort of a way for it's helping to break down that food that you consume. All of that, the teeth, the saliva, all play that role in ingestion. Okay, so we have the upper GI tract. So swallowed food passes through the esophagus, passes through the stomach, and it's combined with gastric juices to help with the digestion in the body. So any food that passes through the stomach is going to be combined with that gastric juice to digest. So when the stomach mixes with these juices, it creates calm. This is a substance in the stomach that's with your food and sort of your stomach acid. So again, the small intestine is composed of the duodenum, jejunum, and the ileum. These are all sections that the food sort of goes through in order to go through the digestion process. So let me sort of explain a little bit more on the upper GI tract. So I know I've mentioned COM here. So basically COM is a semi-fluid mass of digested food that passes through the stomach. So your body's creating that COM to sort of help the body digest that food. So that's a term that I know we probably may not have heard of, but I wanted to mention that and sort of define exactly what that is. So let me talk about sort of these sections of the small intestine, because you likely have not heard of those. So the duodenum is part of the small intestine that resides between the stomach and the jejunum. Duodenum is parts of the small intestine, resides between the duodenum and ileum, and then the ileum is the final section of small intestine located between the duodenum and the cecum and leads to the large intestine. So all these sort of connect. The food passes through these sections and then moves over to the lower GI tract. So the reason why it is called the small intestine because it's relatively small compared to the large intestine. So the small intestine is roughly 3 meters. Food is first passed into the duodenum, which is generally the first 10 inches. Food passes from the duodenum into the duodenum and then ultimately passes into the ileum. And then the food will pass into the large intestine. So the next part we've got here is the large intestine here, or large intestine. Yes, it is large intestine, but it's the lower GI tract. So the large intestine itself primarily serves as a part to absorb electrolytes into the body, including water. The large intestine resides between the small intestine from the rectum and the anal canal. The lower GI tract focuses primarily on leading waste outside of the body. So the large intestine, again, is, this is just helping to sort of go through the digestive process with the body. So again, it's going to serve part as absorbing electrolytes in the body, water, absorbing those vitamins from food. And when all of that food, it'll pass through this large intestine, it's going to go through the colon, and then it's going to go out. This is the ending part of the body. So basically, this is where, when you're using the restroom, this is when you poop. So you're sort of getting that waste outside of the body. So it's going to go through all of that large intestine, and it's going to exit out of the body. Alrighty, so that's sort of a summary of exactly what sort of the digestive system does and some of the different components of the digestive system. But one of the more important things I want to discuss is sort of how exercise can play a huge role in helping with your digestive system, because it's something that you may not know. So, evidence actually suggests that physical activity can help improve intestinal mobility in the body. Higher physical activity has been found in studies that there's improvement in colon transit. Having a combined aerobic and resistance training are most likely the most beneficial for helping improve this colon transit. So, exercise plays a huge role and actually to help regulating your digestive system. So let me discuss sort of a little bit about what this study mentions. So in one study, after individuals performed 60 minutes of combined resistance training and running 3 times per week for 12 weeks, their colon transit time improved compared with transit time prior. So it's going to help having exercise, especially combining it with aerobic and resistance training, is going to be very beneficial for, that digestion process. So it's going to increase that intestinal mobility, like I mentioned up here at the top. So physical activity, again, has been shown to improve sort of this digestive process, which offers a favorable benefit regarding the time it takes for food to pass through the gastrointestinal system. So while it does evidence exists showing that higher physical activity offers a greater benefit, a combined program of aerobic and resistance training is the most beneficial for helping with this, the colon transit, as well as the intestinal mobility. So you're going to get more benefits basically when you have a combined sort of training program with the aerobic and resistance training. So that is pretty much all I wanted to discuss today. And I hope you guys found some great information from this. I do want to go into detail about some other parts of the body and what role they do play in fitness, because there's so many different parts of the body that play a huge role not only as being a function of our everyday life and of us, as a human, but how they play a role in, some of the food we consume or the activities we do, or, how much we engage in physical activity can really determine sort of how parts of our bodies function, which I think is very interesting and it's very beneficial to know. Especially if you're focusing on, sort of improving your health, building a workout routine and, things of that nature. So, again, that's all I have for you guys today. If you have questions about anything, like always, feel free to ask me. I'm always willing to answer those questions. I try to get back to everybody as soon as possible. So, you can send me an email, send me a message, text message on my phone. Just let me know that's you, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. You can also direct message me here on Facebook as well. Um, and I will be having another live stream. I've already got it posted that I'll be talking about joints. So that'll be really cool live stream that I'm looking forward to discussing with you guys. And on Instagram, I'm planning on doing the Instagram live streams on Tuesdays, likely at the same time, Tuesdays at 12, sort of the same time I do these. But again, it's going to be separate topics. I'm going to do completely different topics for the Facebook and then the Instagram streams. So be sure to watch out for that. I know there's going to be a way. I know there's a way I can schedule it out in advance. But I'll definitely share with you guys when I'll have those streams, of course, like I do here on Facebook. So that's all I have for you guys today. Again, if you have any questions, just let me know. And I hope you found a lot of value from this. And I will see you guys next Wednesday in the next live stream.